6 months ago, a mysterious interstellar object started orbiting the Earth. 4 months ago, it started shooting out fungal pods. We fired a missile at it, but it somehow absorbed the impact. 2 months ago, the quarantine zones were set up, and buses started taking people to bunkers. 1 week ago, the gunfire went silent. Today, a ragged human male in an abandoned supermarket crouches down to get the last can of beans. He hears a commotion from behind the seafood counter and freezes. If it isn't just a rat, cat, or dog, it's a knife-wielding druggie, a gun-totting psycho, or something worse. Hiding behind unpacked boxes, he takes a peek. It's just a rat. Phew. He slowly puts the can of beans into his satchel, and he stares at the rat sniffing around for food. Just then, a long, jagged, sickly tan tendril emerges from behind the seafood counter and pierces the rat. The owner of the tendril rears its ugly head. It's a mismatch of multiple humans fused together by tentacled alien fungal nastiness. One of the assimilated. Food, says the creature from its multiple human mouths as it plunges the rat into an alien orifice created from the fungal ooze. The lone human survivor quickly hides behind the boxes. Crouching down, he slowly backs away while shaking in fear. His left shoe bumps an empty can of beans on the floor. The alien creature freezes, having heard the commotion from its multiple ears. Crap. Using its tendrils and assimilated legs, the creature barrels towards the source of the noise. The survivor gets up and sprints towards the exit. The creature opens its many mouths and lets out an inhuman alert like a prison siren. Host! Host! Heart racing, the survivor reaches the nearly empty parking lot. Multiple assimilated are heading towards his direction. He sprints around the supermarket and towards the forest behind it. Just when he thinks he's free, the thing from the seafood counter tackles him. No! Cries the survivor, as the assimilated lifts him up with his multiple tendrils. It shoves a specialized tendril up his nose and sprouts a fleshy antenna that starts jiggling, transmitting telepathic information to the other assimilated. You will now join the hive, says the assimilated, using his humans as mouthpieces. The assimilated dives into the survivor's memories. The survivor was practically abandoned by their family and by human society before the invasion started. The last bus to the bunkers left without him. With no real hunting or cooking skills, he was forced to rely off of extremely processed foods with long shelf life, but he was already living off of them before the invasion anyway. Curious as to why this vessel was abandoned, the assimilated immediately explores the earliest memories of the survivor, slowly working its way from past to present. There were memories that caused both pain and pleasure in the survivor. Unhappy childhood, bullies, unrewarding job, parents, teachers, and bosses yelling at him, cartoons, video games, trading cards, a few friends, fan art, joining an online community and feeling good about it. A memory that induces pleasure in the assimilated, for it reminds it of the comfort of the hive. It explores the neural pathways connected to this memory. New friends, more video games, more fan art. Human woman dressed up in a strange costume being covered in peanut butter while putting on a... Wait. What? The assimilated keeps going, hoping to find more pleasurable memories similar to the comfort of the hive. Pleasurable memories are what keeps the assimilated and the hive together as one happy family. But there's more. There's more and more and more memories like the last one. Of the survivor spending every waking moment unrelated to their immediate survival, to the consumption of this illogical material. No. Why? Asks the assimilated. Why did a human create that? Why? The assimilated can't stop. It's like watching a train wreck. It knows what a disaster looks like, but it can't look away. It needs a resolution. Something to justify this anomaly. Why do these humans make these things? Why do these humans consume these things? The survivor is half conscious, and can tell the assimilated is taking its sweet time, although he's not sure with what exactly. His life isn't that special. It's not like he's some genius or action hero or chosen one or anything. He slowly moves his hand to his gun, and turns off the safety for the second time, and shoots the assimilated in its fungal mouth. Its human mouthpieces let out inhuman shrieks as the creature pulls its tendril out of the survivor's nose. Blam! Blam! It goes down. The survivor picks himself up off the ground and looks around. The other assimilated aren't pursuing him. Instead, with all of their antennas sprouted, they seem to be in some sort of trance. Instead of waiting long enough to give the monsters the chance to grab him, the survivor just darts off. After running for a while, he waves down a military transport vehicle. And so after you shot it, the others just froze? A woman in a lab coat asks the survivor. They are in a quarantine camp. Yeah, but I'm not really sure why, says the survivor. Am I free to go now? Sorry, but no. There are still some residual cells in your body. We have to keep you in quarantine, says the scientist. What happened to the tendril in your nose? If you pulled it out yourself, it can still be in there. Kind of like with ticks. It pulled it out when I shot it, replies the survivor. That's odd, replies the scientist. Usually a new host dies when that happens, but survival has been documented in a few rare cases. Okay, can I at least get my phone back? Asks the survivor. The scientist turns to look at a soldier who is chuckling as he goes through the survivor's phone. Looks like we caught ourselves another weirdo, just like Carlos over here, says the soldier as he points to another soldier eating out of a can. The other soldier makes an obscene gesture. The scientist angrily snatches the survivor's phone out of the soldier's hand, then pauses the moment she sees what is on the survivor's phone. She slowly turns to look at him. Could you participate in an experiment? She asks. I changed my mind! I changed my mind! Get me out! Cries the survivor, as he is lowered down into a pen containing a captive assimilated. It shoves its tendril up his nose, and has the same bewildered reaction as the first assimilated. Nearby captured assimilate freeze in bewilderment. Then, as the tendril is left in a minute longer than the first time, something unprecedented happens. The assimilated begin screaming, tearing themselves apart and bashing their heads against the reinforced walls of their cells, in acts of collective suicide. This supports my hypothesis that the memories of certain individuals can poison the hive mind, the scientist tells the soldier next to her. I need you to find out everything you can on this guy. Send a strike team to retrieve his computer and call up what's left of intelligence to hack his accounts if you have to. I want to know everything about him. 1 month later, a mother and daughter are cornered in an alleyway by the assimilated, fearing that they will join the hive. Suddenly, helicopters fly overhead, carrying giant screens playing something that gets the attention of the creatures. The mother covers the daughter's eyes, grabs her hand, and runs off with her to safety. Meanwhile, dozens of the assimilated are captured en masse and corralled into pens with TV screens playing the videos. Dozens of volunteers are plugged into the tendrils of the assimilated, forcing telepathic broadcasts across the hive that disable whole swarms. New recruits emerge from their bunkers dressed in specialized uniforms and take the fight to the streets. A few more months later, the fleshy, fungal Mothership crashes into New Mexico. The moment it hits the ground is the moment the assimilated around the world drop dead. Millions of human victims die in the process, while others survive and recover. But just when everyone thinks the invasion is over, telescopes spot a whole fleet of fungal ships heading towards Earth. But this time, Earth is ready. They have a hive. Humans have something better. An internet.